Hello beautiful souls, and welcome back to another reading this week. There has been so much rain going on where I am. It's been raining non-stop for a few days, and so I definitely feel that there are some quite potent cleansing energies that are happening at this time, as water is all to do with emotions, and I feel somewhat we're being called to cleanse ourselves and to let go of things that we've been holding on to for so long that are not really serving us anymore. So welcome, my name is Nicole, and I hope that you guys have had a beautiful week and are doing well and are continuing on this journey, just remembering that you are not alone, and there are many of us on this path, and more souls are joining us on this path day by day. So before we get into this reading, beautiful souls, I just want you guys to close your eyes for a second. We're going to move through 3 rounds of breath here, just to release any stagnant energy that's sitting in our body, so we can be nice and open and receptive to the messages here today. So gently closing the eyes. So nice deep inhale through the nose. Nice big exhale through the mouth, making a nice HA sound. Really allow any energy in your belly to release. Nice deep inhale, putting the energy all the way up to the space above the crown of the head. A nice HA sound pushing from the belly. Nice big inhale through the nose. Last inhale here, pulling up as hard as you can, all the way up to the space above the crown of the head. A nice big HA sound. You can make it as loud as you want here. Just take a moment to feel into your body. Allow yourself to ground your energy and just gently call in all of your energy so that you can be fully present in the now. Be fully present in your body. Welcome back. I hope you're feeling somewhat more relaxed. So some interesting messages have come out this week. And so the first card that we picked was Medicine Guardian. Be open to healing information. A lot of green here. A lot of, and then they also have the caduceus, which is the sign that we see for pharmacies. The two snakes kind of climbing up the sort of staff. And really, the 2 snakes represent the Kundalini energy that sits at the base of our spine, and it represents the energy that moves through our 7 energetic centers. But really, so if we look at the main 7 energetic centers called the chakras, there are 7 main chakras. You have the 3 lower chakras and then the 3 higher chakras. But the middle chakra is the heart chakra, and the heart chakra is the one that kind of combines the lower chakras with the upper chakras, because really when we are in our hearts and when we are able to give and receive love, then we are able to perceive the world in a different way. We're able to perceive the world through more love. We're able to perceive the world through a more open heart, because when we close off our hearts, and the thing is, unfortunately, most of us do close off our hearts. And the reason we close off our hearts is because of trauma. And again, most people, when you say the word trauma, they'll think of a major accident. But trauma, and especially when we're looking at childhood trauma, and the thing is, excuse me, when we have childhood trauma, which all of us do, the way a child deals with trauma versus the way an adult deals with trauma are 2 very different things. So just by saying no to a child and pushing them away or you know, having, you know, sort of like, not necessarily shouting at them, but being quite forceful with them, well, that can be very traumatic for a child, because remember, when we're children, our brains haven't yet fully processed, and so we're not fully capable of understanding the way the world works and the way we move through the world just yet. So it's very important to remember that if in childhood maybe we were bullied, or a friend said something to us, or maybe a teacher said something in front of the class and that embarrassed us, and that basically is trauma, because trauma is all to do with the way our energy and our nervous system respond to a situation that is taking place. So if a teacher said something and that was embarrassing, and maybe, we feel shame and we feel guilt, but because we don't know how to process the energy of that emotion that is building up inside of us, we kind of sit there in our shame, and what our mind does is that it holds on to that. And somewhere inside of us, our programming, if we haven't dealt with the emotion and the energy of that shame that we experienced, well, somewhere along the way, we're going to continue to slowly close off our heart more and more, because now maybe the way we processed what that teacher said, and perhaps the teacher wasn't intentionally trying to make us feel shame or guilt or to put us down, but perhaps the tone of their voice reminded us of the tone of our voice our parents uses when they're angry at us and they smack us. And so that could have started to lead to slowly closing off the heart. And so every time that we put ourselves out there into the world and we were not received the way that we had intended to be received or thought we would receive, well, we slowly close off our heart. Every time we have an argument with a friend, every time we have an argument with a lover, every time we have an argument with a parent, every time somebody says something that triggers something deep inside of us, well, we're slowly closing off our heart. And it's not necessarily closing off as much as, when, for example, when you go through a major breakup, and they literally say that people can die of heartache, because more and more research is now showing that the heart has its own intelligence, and the heart has more intelligence than even the brain, but it is an emotional intelligence, because remember, beautiful souls, we feel through our heart. And by being open to healing information, what is happening is we are really being called to look deep inside of us and to start noticing where we have closed off our heart, where we are not allowing ourselves to give and receive love, because something in the program and the stories we keep repeating over and over inside of our head is that I am unworthy, I am unlovable, I am no good at this, I will never succeed, I will never move forward. And so what happens when we constantly say these things is eventually we start to believe the messages that we continue to repeat and repeat and repeat in our mind. So the question is, beautiful souls, is have you been closing off your heart? Where have you been closing off your heart? And where, by you closing off your heart, you're not allowing yourself to see some of the possibilities that are available to you, but you are not able to see because you have been blinded by the fact that you have closed off your heart. So we are at a time now, and really it's quite interesting, because as green represents the heart chakra, with all this rain that has been taking place right now, everything is such a vibrant, beautiful green. And yesterday when I was driving around and just looking at all of the trees and the nature and this color that they're all emanating, I could really feel my own heart chakra starting to expand, because really when we spend more time in nature, we start to heal our heart, because remember, nature is natural, and we spend more time in the natural world, because remember, we too are natural beings. But the more we close off our heart and the more we look for things outside of ourselves for the responses and the answers that we're looking for, well, we're taking away ourselves from the natural course of life. We're taking ourselves away from the natural course of healing that happens when we focus on ourselves and we focus on our hearts. So spending time in nature is a beautiful way to reconnect with yourself and to ground your energy. And we don't realize how being in nature, where nothing is complicated and everything is just being, because remember, we too are human beings, we're not human doings. And nature just bees. You don't see a flower saying, oh, look at that flower, it's so much prettier than me, I'm not going to grow today because that flower is going to be prettier than me. No, the flowers, whatever they look like, they just grow and they don't think about it, and they're just being in their natural power. So think about where you probably need some healing, and if you take the time to just spend in nature and just be, you'd be surprised to know how many healing messages come our way if we are open to them. So the next card here we have is Mirror Guardian. Take time to reflect. Take time to reflect on where you have closed off your heart. Take time to reflect on where you are blocking yourself off from moving forward. Take time to reflect deeply on where you are allowing others to be the ones to guide you. Because beautiful souls, we truly are the ones who have all of the answers that we need. But again, the programming of the society that we live in continues to repeat to us that we are such simple, small creatures that how could we possibly know anything? But remember, beautiful souls, that encoded within your DNA, excuse me, encoded within your very own DNA are all of the answers that your soul needs to move in the direction that is destined for you. But if we do not take the time to go inwards, to reflect on these things, if we consistently look outside and constantly ask other people to give us the answers, but remember, nobody has context over your life the way you do, because you are the only one who's lived it. So if we constantly look outwards and look for the answers outside of us, then it's very more likely that we will be led astray. We're really being asked to look deep inside of us, because truly each and every one of us has the answers that we need for our souls and our journey. But unless we take the time to reflect, then it's very easy for us to get pulled in a million different directions and to miss out on the journey or the path that is ours. And you know, I can give myself as an example here. I used to be such a people pleaser, and I desperately wanted to be liked by other people, because, well, quite frankly, I didn't really like myself very much. And when I started to take the time to reflect as to why I didn't like myself and why I was such a people pleaser and why I was always doing things for other people, I started to realize it was because inside of myself, I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel good enough. And I thought that really, unless people liked me, then I wouldn't be accepted. But it turns out that, well, for one, I was completely going in the wrong direction, because I wasn't doing what my soul was calling me for, but I was doing what I thought other people wanted me to do. And, well, that didn't end so well. So it might be a good time for you to ask if you are doing things for other people as opposed to doing things for yourself. Because the next card we have here is Trader. Exchange energy to create abundance. So remember, beautiful souls, everything in this world is about balance. Everything is about give and take. Everything is about reciprocity. There is always, for every action, there is a consequence. Remember, there are certain laws of nature and laws of the universe that we must take into consideration when we are living our lives, because remember, we are soul beings having a human experience, and the laws of nature as well as the laws of the universe apply to us at all times, because, well, inside of our physical vessel, our soul is housed, and our soul is an energy. Our soul is an energetic frequency. And when we are sharing our energy with the world, well, for everything that we share, well, we get something back. So if you are giving too much and not receiving enough, well, beautiful souls, at some point in time, you are going to find yourself being depleted. You're going to find that you no longer have the energy that you need to do the things that you desire for yourself, because you're too busy giving your energy to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that doesn't necessarily genuinely care about the advancement of your soul. Because beautiful souls, when we don't have the right boundaries, what we realize is that people can take advantage of us. And maybe they're not even doing this consciously, but if you are giving something to somebody for free, most people are going to say, hey, yeah, for sure, I'm going to have that. Because that is kind of the mechanism response that has been ingrained into us. So when we give our energy away for free, people will take it. But then when we find ourselves depleted of energy and don't have the energy that we need to create the abundance for ourselves, then, well, what happens? Well, we feel depleted, but then we also start to build resentment to these people. We start building resentment because we say, hey, I have to do all of these things and I don't have the energy that I need for myself. But beautiful souls, again, it's so easy to constantly blame people and things outside of us for what is happening inside of us. But remember, beautiful souls, we have free will. And free will basically means that at every single point in time, we're consistently making decisions. We have the free choice to make decisions about what we are going to do, what we are going to think, where we are going to go. As much as sometimes there are limitations upon us, we always have the choice. And the thing is, sometimes we don't take the right choice because we've closed off our hearts and we fear that things will go wrong. But when we open our hearts and we stay in our integrity, and we stay in the integrity that by putting out our energy, we are doing something to lift humanity as well as lift ourselves. Because what people don't realize is when we heal ourselves, we naturally heal those around us. We naturally start to heal everything around us. And they say that somebody who is vibrating in high vibration cancels out the lower vibrational energy of about 7,000 to 10,000 people. So just think about that. So how many people say, oh yeah, but if it's only me who changes, nothing is going to change? That is not true, beautiful souls. Because if you change, you will directly change those around you. And those around you will start to change those around them. And it's basically a snowball effect that starts to grow and grow and grow until suddenly everything in this world is also starting to change. But the change starts with us. The change starts with the way we use our energy, the way we exchange our energy, the way we conserve our energy in order to put beautiful things out into this world. Because if we are just stuck here and unhappy and miserable, and all we play is the what if scenario about, oh, what if this goes wrong, and what if this goes wrong, and what if this goes wrong? Well, think about all of the energy you're feeding into that problem, which isn't currently a thing, but because you keep feeding your energy into thinking about that problem, eventually that problem will become a reality. Because remember, beautiful souls, what we put out, we attract. Where our energy goes, our attention goes. So if our attention and our energy is constantly thinking about all the bad things and all the problems and all the things that could go wrong, well, beautiful souls, we are actively creating our own problems because we fear. We fear because our heart is closed. But the more we focus on opening up our heart, the more we focus on being in our energy and listening to the calling of our soul, the more we start to create abundance for ourselves, because we're not keeping our energy focusing on all the problems and all the bad things that might happen. But let's start to play the what if scenario about, well, what if this good thing happens, and what if this good thing happens, and what if that good thing happens? And once we start to change the way our energy is being used, and that is even with our thoughts, then suddenly the way we look at things starts to change. But we're so programmed to always look for the negative. We're so programmed to always look for everything that is bad and negative, and this is what society continues to show us. And it's just, the news is the perfect example. If you watch mainstream media, then you will notice that pretty much all of the stories that they share on news are always so negative. But think about all of the amazing things that are happening in the world all the time, at every given moment. But just because we're not tuning into them doesn't mean that it's not happening. Beautiful. The next card here is Autumn, and a crow here. And the crow is, some people look at the crow as being a negative omen, but I look at the crow as being a very positive omen, because the crow comes with a lot of information. And the crow is a deeply spiritual animal and holds a lot of information. And what the crow energy here is asking us is to release the old and rest. So the card of Autumn, think about autumn. Autumn is when all the leaves start to fall from the trees. The leaves start to fall from all of the trees, and it's like everything is dying, but nothing is really dying. It's almost like they're going into hibernation so that they can rest and they can start to assess, okay, well, what are the things that what are all these leaves that I've been carrying around that hold certain information, but this information is no longer relevant. And this could be with thoughts, this could be with beliefs, this could be with relationships, this could be with situations. It's take the time, again, with the take time to reflect, as you are being asked to go inwards into a mini state of hibernation here, to take time to rest, to take time to reflect on what is old, what is still being carried forward from the old version of you, from the old programming, that you have continued to carry forward. But are these stories, are these beliefs, are these actions, are these habits, are these things that we do relevant with us moving forward? It's time to take stock of, okay, well, maybe there is a new way of me doing things, because, well, this way is not necessarily working. And so, for example, when I took time to assess about if this people-pleasing way of life was truly helping me, I realized that I was consistently building other people up, but at my own expense, because, again, I was constantly giving my energy for free and getting nothing in return. So people think that it's selfish when we ask, well, what do I get in exchange for this? But these are the natural laws of the universe. It's about give and exchange, and that's essentially what karma is about. If you do something, something will come back to you, and either that's something, if you do something that is positive, that has a positive impact for you and others, then as a response you will get a positive response. But if you do something that is negative, somewhere along the way you will suffer from that negative choice that you made. So we're really being asked to take time. What is no longer serving? And this is where we come into shadow work. And for those of us who are on this journey, there are too many of us who bypass the whole shadow work side of things. And maybe, again, there's this whole concept of love and light. And whilst that is all well and good, and it is important to have love, and it is important to share our light, but our light and our love can only be shared to the extent that we are aware of where we are holding that love back, where we are holding that light back. And the thing is, most of us, we don't even realize where we're doing these things. And this is why it's so important to go inwards and to start to question what are our deeper shadows. What aspects of ourselves are we not dealing with? What aspects of ourselves are we blinding ourselves off from, so that we pretend that they don't exist? But just because you pretend that they don't exist doesn't mean that it's not there. So until I was able to go and start to realize that I was a people pleaser, I couldn't get to where I am today, because I was not doing things from a genuine place. I was doing things from a place of fear and trauma, a place of feeling that I would not be accepted by the larger group, feeling that I would not be accepted by individuals for being who I am. So until we go and start to pay attention to our shadows and pay attention to the lower vibrational energies and emotions that are inside of us that we are not dealing with, then we're not going to move forward that much, because underneath the surface, there are so many things that we've kind of pushed away and said, no, I'm not going to deal with those because, well, it's too uncomfortable, or I don't want to admit that I'm a people pleaser, or that sometimes I'm not the nicest person, or sometimes I'm angry, or sometimes I shout at people, or whatever it may be. The thing is that when we move through this journey, it is so important that we have compassion. We're being asked to trust in higher forces, beautiful souls, because inside each and every one of us, there is a shaman. And the shaman is simply someone who is aware of the non-physical world. Inside each of us, if we tune into our intuition, we know things. But a lot of the times we're like, no, how could I possibly know something when the world is constantly telling us we know nothing? So it is trusting in the higher forces, trusting that your intuition, trusting that your heart, trusting that little voice at the back of your head, even when everyone says, no, you're crazy, that can't be right, trusting that you will always know best for yourself. Because remember, beautiful souls, only we have context, full context for our life, because we are the ones who live it. And again, people will say that we are selfish because when we pull our energy back and say, hang on a second, I've been giving too much of my energy to too many people out there, obviously people will be pissed, because they'll be like, hey, you're changing. And it's like, yes, I'm changing, because this is me putting in place my boundaries. This is me trusting the intuition and the internal voice that is telling me that these situations are not in my highest interest. These situations are not allowing me to open my heart. These situations are not allowing me to know myself to the deepest depths that I can. And the reason all of these energies here, we are being called to release. There is a lot of release. There is a lot of need to look into our shadow work, to identify where we are not being in integrity. Where are we saying things to others, but we are not doing them ourselves? Because it's so easy to preach to others, But then how often are we in the integrity of what we're saying and doing what we say? And I just want to point out here that this is applicable for a lot of the people who go to church. And, you know, I'll just be honest, I'm not one who believes in organized religion, because I believe that God, or the one supreme creator, or the universe, or whatever name you want to give it, that we are all tapped into a higher frequency, and that this frequency, this God, this universe is one of love. And this God of love, this God that created all beautiful things on this planet, doesn't need us to go and sit in a certain building in order to give thanks, in order to say thank you for my life, in order to say thank you for my blessings. And so we're being asked to look inside of us and to practice what we preach. And the thing is, you know, we think that the most important time to be good, or to be in integrity, or to be selfless is when other people are looking. But no, beautiful souls, the most important time to be in love, to be in integrity, and to do good things is when nobody is looking, because that is when God, or the universe, sees you the most. Because most people do things because they're looking for some kind of reward, they're looking for some kind of recognition. But the thing is, the rewards come the most when nobody sees, and when you stay in integrity. Even if you could take the shortcut, even if you could make more money, and supposedly you're not hurting anyone by doing these things, beautiful soul, remember, the universe sees you in those moments. And we are really being asked to connect with our I am presence. There are major shifts that are happening at this time, and look at all of this light. Look at all of this light that is emanating from this being. So much light that it blinds you, because beautiful souls, inside each and every one of us, the light of the sun shines inside of us. And when we are in our integrity, when we are in our hearts, when we are being good, even when nobody sees us, then we emanate this I am presence. We're able to activate our light body. We are literally accessing the divine within. And beautiful souls, we don't need to go to church to access the divine, because the divine exists inside each and every one of us. And as long as we take the time to go inwards and reflect and open our heart and connect to this part of us, and realize that God, the universe, the creator, lives inside each and every one of us. Because remember, we were created in the image of the creator. Because we are literally the universe experiencing itself in a different form. And so when we allow our divine presence, when we allow ourselves to emanate that light and to be God in human form, then anything becomes possible. This is when we start to change the world, because by changing and allowing the divine God within each and every one of us to shine outwards as bright as it can, the possibilities that will be available to you. And the thing is, because we live in such a logical mind, it's so hard for us to understand what this means. But remember, beautiful souls, everything is made up of energy. And when we vibrate at an energy that is as high vibrational as it can go, then possibilities that your mind doesn't even know are available to you will come through, because these possibilities exist only in our heart. And until we connect with our heart, we will not be privy to experiencing these kinds of incredible, and honestly, there are no words to define what kind of things that you can feel when you really allow yourself to emanate that light from your heart. And then we come to higher heart activation. We're being asked to drop our shields. We're being asked to experience our divine love, and we're being asked to experience our heart being healed. Look at this beautiful pink energy here. And pink is higher heart energy, higher chakra. And interesting that we started with our opening our heart chakra here to opening our higher heart activation, because really when we heal the lower heart, we open ourselves to experience the higher heart. And it is when we experience the higher heart that we start to experience life. And truly, there are no words. We're coming to a time, beautiful souls, where it's becoming difficult to put into words these things that we experience, because they are truly not of this realm. They are not of this world. We are literally reconnecting with the divine and experiencing things on a whole new level. And so the more you allow yourself to be in your heart, to feel your heart, to make choices through your heart, to move through your heart, to listen to the calling of your soul through your heart and not through your mind, things will change. And I would be I would love to hear from you about what kind of changes you might have been experiencing. What are you experiencing when you feel yourself in your heart? Please share in the comments below some of the things that you're experiencing. What are the challenges you're experiencing? What are the beautiful moments you're experiencing? What old parts of you are you being asked to release? I'm very interested to hear from you so we can have a bit of an exchange. So the next card we have is the Venusian Galactic Council, and the Venusian energy is very much about love and beauty and harmony and nature and our values. And again, very pink energy here. So much light is emanating. It's almost blinding. And we're really being asked to tune into our higher heart and to tune into this soft, nurturing energy that we have inside each of us, and to pour that love into ourselves. You are being guided by star beings, beautiful souls. There are so many beings that are around us now, and maybe some of you, if your first eye is open, you can see things. And you know, I sometimes through the corner of my eye I see a flicker of purple, or I'll see a flicker of yellow. And the more we tune in and the more we trust that what is happening at this time is not logical. It is not logical at all. But the more you allow yourself to tune into this energy of love, to follow the answer, to answer the calling of your soul, it is a time to shine. We are being asked to share our light. And I know that this is so counterintuitive, especially for you light workers out there who experience so much hardship in life and who experience so many challenges, and not only in this life but in other lives where you were literally put down for the light that you hold within your heart. But beautiful soul, sorry, I'm getting so excited here, I'm losing my words. The energy here is, it's so powerful. I can feel it emanating through my heart, and it's making me, I'm feeling so much love here as I look at these cards. And really, there is a love here. There is something that is happening, and we are being asked to spread our love and to share our light, because now more than ever the universe needs it. People need it. We need to be the ones to hold strong and help others to see that as much as they may be going through a dark night of the soul, good things are coming, because the more we can shed the darkness, the more space there is for the light to shine through. Lemurian seed codes, embracing sensitivity, uniqueness, living with grace. Again, look at these colors, purples and pinks. These energies, they're potent. There are galactic light codes that are coming in, that are asking us to embrace our sensitivity, that are asking us to embrace our uniqueness. Because if people were more sensitive, you know, we live in a world where we're told that it is not okay to be sensitive, that it is not okay to feel things. But people don't realize that being connected to our emotions, being connected to our heart and feeling things deeply is a superpower. Because when you feel things deeply, you start to feel what others feel. And when you feel what others feel, you would never hurt. You would never not be in integrity. You would never do something that could hurt others. And the thing is, we hurt everything so much. We hurt nature. We hurt animals, we hurt each other, and we don't do it consciously most of the time. We do it because of these old traumas that are still sitting inside of us, that are dense and heavy, and that are not allowing us to see the world through this vibrant light and through the vibrant heart of our higher chakras. So when we allow ourselves to live in grace, when we allow ourselves to express and experience our uniqueness, then suddenly opportunities become available to us. We live in a world of endless opportunities, of limitless possibilities, but we close ourselves off to them because we cannot see, because of our traumas, because of our past pains, because of things that happened to us in the past, whether it's this lifetime or other lifetimes where we cannot allow ourselves to open up because we feel dense, and this density is holding us down. It's like we're being pulled down by an anchor. And until we release all these old things, these old habits, these old stories, these old ways of doing things, these old patterns, we will not be able to allow this light to enter us. So beautiful souls, we are being called now more than ever to shed, because the more we shed, and those of you individuals out there who are shedding, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you on behalf of all of those people out there in the world who are not shedding, because you are the one who is making the space for this world to improve. By choosing to heal yourself, you are healing the world, and you are healing others who are not even aware that you are doing this. But God sees you, the universe sees you, and all these galactic beings here who are here present at this time, they see you. And the more you shed, the more they will connect with you, and the more they will give you the energies you need, and they will download the information that you have in order to allow yourself to live through this uniqueness that you hold. Because the unique gifts and abilities we have were literally gifted to us by the universe. They were gifted to us by God. They were gifted to us by the one supreme creator, so that we could use them at this time to help heal the world and others and ourselves. We're not supposed to do things by the book. This is not the time to do things by the book. And the numerology here is the 11, and the 11 is a portal. The 11 is the number of the high priestess, and whether you're a man out here, it is also the number of the high priest, in that you are opening yourself up to the cosmos. You are opening yourself up to all that is available to us. But now we're being asked to drop the book. Everything that we have been taught to think about and look at through our mind, we are being asked to release, because we are literally moving into the new earth. And in this new earth, we cannot do things by the old book. There is a new book that is being written, a new book that was already written, but is not a physical book like this one, but an energetic book. And that energetic book sits literally within the coding of your DNA. And the more that you release these lower vibrational energies, the more your DNA will continue to activate. And the soul, the star codes and the light codes that are coming through from our galactic sun at the moment are literally activating dormant strands of DNA. So start tapping into your energetic book and start identifying what you need to do differently in order to move forward. A leg up. And the numerology here is a 7, and 7 is the number of spirituality. 7 is the number of truth. 7 is the number of capital T truth, and in 2023 we are in a 7 universal year. We are being asked, whether you like it or not, beautiful souls, to follow the calling of our souls. And the universe is giving us a leg up. For those of you who embark on this journey now, the energies of this year are supporting you, because now more than ever, the universe is calling those of us who have light in our hearts to share it. And we will be supported. We are deeply supported at this time. The energies are so potent at this moment that everything is here to help us to succeed on our mission. Follow the calling of your soul, beautiful souls. Now more than ever, you are needed. Your light is needed. People need you to fight for them. And unfortunately, not everybody is able to fight, because some of us have been deeply wounded, and some of us don't feel like we have the strength and the ability to move forward. But those of us who are already on this journey, we are the ones who are leading others to show them that it is safe. It is safe to let go of these darker densities and these heavier densities. And let us be the ones to give a leg up to those around us. Be the leader in your community. Be the leader of your family or your friend group. Bring these messages to those who need it most, because we are all messengers of God, and we share these messages differently. But those of you who have messages to share, and these messages don't always come in a verbal format, they could be through your art, through your dancing, through whatever talent, unique talents you have, that is you expressing the messages from God, because it is a frequency that you put out. When we are creating from our hearts, then we are literally anchoring in a new frequency. You are anchoring your unique energetic blueprint. You are grounding it into the here and now. And last of all, we're being called to be an observer. And look at how he is observing the moon, observing the sky. We're being asked to look up, because beautiful souls, there is so much going on in the skies. The numerology here is a 4. And the 4 is again about foundation. Think about the 4 walls of a house. We're being asked to set new foundations by looking up to the sky and getting the information from up above, observing what the universe and the cosmos is telling us. We're being asked to observe so that we can ground a new foundation, the foundation for the new earth, beautiful souls. The new earth is well and truly here, but we need more people to anchor it in, because big things are happening. Big changes will continue to occur for the few years to come. And the more you are in higher vibration, the more these lower density energies will be unable to touch you. They will be unable to reach you, because you will be vibrating so up here that these energies are on these lower parts here. But if you're up here, anything that is down here won't be able to touch you. So where can you be more observant of the information and the possibilities that are coming in to help you on your path, that are helping you on this journey, but that you are still somehow feeling fearful to follow? Beautiful souls, this is your time to shine. Trust it. Trust in your power. Trust in your ability, because everything is supporting you to succeed, to do whatever it is that brings you joy, that brings you happiness. Because when you are in joy, happiness, and love, anything is possible. So please like this video, share any comments you have, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep receiving messages like this. Sending you so much love and wishing you strength as you continue your journey. Bye for now.